Hi, welcome back to the model room. And I'm back in the model room. I've been on vacation for, holy crow, almost a month. And if I sound a little froggy, I came back from vacation with a head cold. It's getting better. I've gotten in here to do some work. I'm going to show a quick update on the rock and roll group build, just some interior details, decals, and back in paint. So we'll get to that in just a second. In addition, I'm going to spend a couple of minutes talking about group builds and pitch an idea. I'd like to get some feedback on it, if possible. We'll see where that goes. But I also want to say thank you to the many people that have subscribed since I've been away. I'm up over 300 subscriptions now, and, I'm very grateful for that. The last video got almost 800 views, and I appreciate that very much. Thanks to all of you, and hopefully you're going to enjoy the videos to come. Let's get started. Decals for this dune buggy have come in. You may recall from prior videos that I want to kind of replicate this dune buggy, follow the pattern, sort of the silver, the blue, the torn paper look of the stripes or inserts, whatever you call them. And I got a set of decals. Now this is the set, and this is Garfield. It's for a race car that I'm not building. Looks like an interesting race car. I don't really have a lot of interest in Garfield. I have nothing against him. However, he had these sort of cat scratch decals that I wanted to put on the fenders and on the side. Now, they're very nice and they're the right size. The only thing of it is, can I get a shine on here? Maybe not. Yeah, there we go. They're chrome. And I don't want them to be chrome. I thought they were just silver. I don't want this to look like something that George Barris built in 1972, although that's exactly what happened with the Barris buggy. I think it was about that time. In any case, I don't want them to be chrome. I'm going to hit them with some dull coat and see if that just gets them down to plain silver. And I think I'll use them that way. I still have to make some sort of scratchy torn paper decal stripes for the hood, which will be silver, and I want to do them in the blue. Okay, instant cut to 2 days later. This has had 3 coats of Tamiya matte clear, and look at it. It's still got that shiny chrome look to it, which frankly I don't think is right for this build. I just can't believe it. If they would bottle this chrome for us as modelers and we could put it on a model, it would take anything. It would take any kind of clear coat or whatever, still look shiny. I don't know what they're using, but in any case, I like the look of these decals, but I don't like that shine. So I may just get some silver decal paper and try and make up my own and show you how I would go about doing this torn paper look. I do have some blue decal paper, and as you can see, that decals will tear. They don't tear real easily, and they don't tear really thin, so I can get one that maybe will be good for the rather thicker torn paper look on the side of the vehicle. But for the hood, especially for the blue, it's hard to just grab it. Even with your nails, you can't just grab it and pull, and it won't come off that way. What I've found may be possible is to lightly score it on the back and, make a little bit of a wavy line back here and then just grab it. These are pliers that have a flat head on them, so they're not grooved, not going to damage the decal. And if I hold it and pull it off with these, I can get a fairly thin line, and then it has that jagged look because the decal itself tears, even though the backing is cut. I'm going to continue to experiment with this with both the blue, and I'll get some silver and see where it goes. One more step forward. The upholstery on the seats is done. And yes, this dune buggy has a rear seat, so I had to do a little extra. This is the rear seat. two seats. This is one of the front seats. I included the headrest. I upholstered that part as well as the insert here in the seat. And each of these now is done. Of course, now realizing that I have to do rear seats, I'm going to have to do another set of seat belts for that. And that won't be hard. And that's underway. Time for the repaint. I wasn't real crazy about the first color coat that went down. So I'm doing it again. Now I've decided on this color. This is a crafter's color. It's an acrylic paint. I like it better because I think it really looks a little brighter, and I think it's going to shine nicely on this dune buggy body. Before I do that, I have to prime it. This is my favorite primer now. It's Stynylrez neutral color. They call it neutral color. It's this sort of tannish color. You can shoot it straight from the bottle. It goes down real nice. I tend to thin it a little bit, and what I use now with acrylics is this Golden brand airbrush medium. This stuff really works well. I think it's a great product. And not sponsored or anything, I just like it. I can mix this 50-50 or maybe do a little less than a 50-50, maybe a 2/3, 1/3, with the 1/3 being the airbrush thinner. And then I was in Jerry's Artorama. There's a store near me, and I like that store. They recommended the Liquitex Flow Improver, and I put in just a few drops of Flow Improver, and that really helps it get through the airbrush nicely. So here we go. Okay, here's the body post primer, and it went on very nicely. I think you can see that that primer went on smooth. This is 3 coats. It, even though it is flat primer, has a little bit of a gloss to it because it just dried up that way. Covered very nicely. And I did get a little bit of a run right down here. I'm not sure you can see that, but that will polish out. Again, the areas under here and here are rough looking because they're meant to be that way. This side is smooth. The tops are smooth. Everything came out just fine. I think I'm going to do silver and black in the interior again. Overall, it just came out very nicely. I like this primer a lot. Ready for paint in a couple of days. Okay, group builds. I've been looking at group builds. I've had some ideas for group builds over time, but I haven't wanted to pitch them on the channel because, only about half a year old, kind of a small channel. Didn't think it would really fly, but as things are going along, I think I'm getting some traction, and I may want to pitch something out there. Why do we like group builds so much? Well, obviously, because this is a participatory community. We do a lot in the themes at NNLs and contests. People like to have that shared experience. They like to see what other builders are doing along that same theme, what their ideas are, and show our own ideas in that theme. It's just fun to do. I'm in a couple of group builds myself, and I'm really enjoying it. So, yeah, I've had some ideas. One in particular that people told me was really good. And so I pitched it to friends of mine that have channels, but they either had their own group build going or they were too busy with other things, couldn't do it. And, as I said, I didn't really want to try it on this channel because it was fairly small. But Wayne Gretzky once said that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I figure, let me take a shot. And if it doesn't fly, that's okay. We're still going to do our builds. We're still going to have fun with the videos. We're going to look at videos of others and see what their content is all about. It's just going to go on as before. But in the meantime, I'm going to throw this out. And if it catches, that would be fine. So here's the idea. It's sleepers. Those cars that look like somebody's mom drove them to a PTA meeting? They're kind of plain and pedestrian, maybe a post car with poverty cap hubcaps on it, but underneath it's got a really great engine, good tires, a really great suspension. It could even be like an old dirty beater with some rust on it. Doesn't look like much, but it goes. Or it could be a factory stock car. Remember the Copo Camaro? Yeah, I know that was meant for the strip, but don't tell me that a few of those didn't find their way to the street as well, right? Also, the GTO Judge. That was the stripped down version of the GTO. I mean, the trim rings were even taken off of the wheels. No options that didn't make it go fast. And that was the idea of it, except for that really silly spoiler that I never really liked on the back. In any case, that was the idea the manufacturers had. Also, the Roadrunner, that was the go-fast version of the GTX. So it could be anything. Anything that looks plain but goes fast. And I know a lot of modelers have had experience with these cars over the years. I've had a few myself. So I think it would be a lot of fun to do as a group build. If you think so, let me know in the comments. If you think that you would like to participate, we'll get it started. We'll set some time limits on it. And I don't think there would be any rules except that it should just be a plain car with a good engine. In any case, I'd like to know, and I have an idea for one myself. Here it is. It's this Mack truck. Right? I know that this is the Tom Daniel version. I kind of think it looks neat, and if you build it as sort of a normal truck, it would look like a normal Mack truck. People say that it's a little bit small in scale. I don't know. It can be any scale you want it to be. I think it's kind of neat. I know that one of the model companies, I think Revell, is coming out with a reissue version of a Mack truck. I could do that, but and I just think that this is set up very nicely for what I want to do with it. And what I want to do with it is make it look like an old, dirty truck, show the engine in the front, kind of rusty and dirty, but not hooked up. Because in the back, poking up from the bed, will be the engine from this. Remember I talked about this and I said I had a use for it? That's what it is. I'm going to take the engine and suspension from the rear of this Corvette and put it in that Mack, poking up through the bed, and then cover it with a wooden crate to make it look like it's making a delivery. But you lift up the crate, you find this sophisticated engine. Now, I may lower it a little bit. I'm thinking of putting the front suspension from the Surf Woody in it. That's got a good chassis and suspension. It's got a lot of good parts. If you haven't looked at it, it really does. So I would use that. So it might get a little lower. I was thinking about actually chopping the C cab, making that look a little sleeker, but then it wouldn't look like, just a real old truck. So I'm going to leave it the way it is. I might trim it off a little bit on the bottom to settle it down a little. You wouldn't really notice. It might look a little sleeker, but you wouldn't really notice that it's intentionally lowered. We'll see how that goes. But that's the plan for it. And I think it would be a lot of fun to do. So if you have an idea for a sleeper, if you want to participate, let me know. We'll get it going. If not, we'll save it for another day. That's all fine. Okay. That's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Again, thanks to all my subscribers. I very much appreciate it. Some more progress on the rock and roll build next time. Thanks for watching.